Hey, y'all, gravity, any day above ground living. I know this is unexpected, but boy, we got some things we need to discuss with the family because they out here playing games out here in these streets. I wanted to do this last night, but you know, I was tired. I cooked. If you have the Discord, I have it up in there. I was cooking and then I ate, and then the itis hit me. And I said, you know what? Let me see if I could get this in the morning before y'all go to work. Family, they out here testing us. They're testing the resolve of the, I guess you can say, the Black Grassroots. They're trying it. Three things occurred yesterday, and I don't know if you guys were watching the news, but three things occurred yesterday, online and in real life. Now, the fool in the middle, that's Derek Johnson. He runs the NAACP currently. He's had something to say about Black Americans. Okay. What you see in the right-hand corner, there was an insurrection type event yesterday at the U.S. Capitol. We're going to go over that as well. And we're going to start with what you see in the left-hand corner. Now, in the left-hand corner, you see something called Way of the World. Now, if you're not on Twitter, you don't know who these people are. Hell, if I wasn't on Twitter, I wouldn't know who these people are. Person, people, whatever. Organization, whatever you want to call it. This jackass organization / person / team decided to put out a fake narrative yesterday online in front of white folk, because this is what the white vote does. The white vote is going to doom us all, family. Let's just call it what it is. That's why I titled it the way I did. It's going to doom us all. It's going to doom us all because no matter what's going on in the world, I mean, we got inflation, we got wars, we got goddamn people's water is not clean. There's still an auto worker strike. I mean, I guess y'all should be glad Hollywood's getting back on track, so you'll have a distraction. But no matter what the world's problems are, the first thing they go to is black folk. Black folk. It's getting annoying now. It really is. So let's begin there, family. I got to get a piece of this because they're just showing us how dumb they are.
Get that water. He about to get this work. He about to get this work.
Family, yesterday, I came across this. I didn't want to say nothing. I was tired again. That itis, that pot roast was good. That itis was there. Now, I didn't cook this site before, not the Way of the World, the site where they got this chart from. I cooked it already, but I guess I got to cook it again. Now, apparently, this Crimeo Resuel, whatever the fuck, it's a French based Substack site who is notoriously anti black. This asshole page puts out this. It says new U.S. crime stats are out. 1350 became 1360. And for those who don't know what 1350 means, this is a trope that the white conservatives and their black dumb servitude like to run around on the internet to disparage the black community. 13% of the population, which they say it's us, even though I still contend with a lot of my contemporaries and a lot of people that we're actually a lot larger, but we'll let them have it. 50% means that in terms of violent crime, we do half of the violent crime in this country. Sure. Okay. That was in 2019, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So it says new U.S. crime stats are out. 1350 became 1360. And if you think the white total is ridiculously high, that's because white people are getting the blame for Hispanic crime now. Okay. So it wasn't a problem when your numbers were over 61% and you were enjoying the benefits. Now that what happened in Texas, those 2 mass deletions, all of a sudden now you don't want to be lumped in with the Hispanics. All of a sudden. But before we go, I fucked up. I apologize.
Move this man!
I did not introduce the family. I did not say good morning to the family. Good morning, family. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Brother Torian Rain. Good morning, Win Loser Rug. Good morning, Shamika Gray. Good morning again to Torian Rain, my lifetime rival on this YouTube. And Black for Free Thinker. Good morning. Hurricane IQ, good morning. And Ricky Jones, good morning. Okay, I no longer fucked up. And 225 girl, good morning. Yes, I will blow this up for you, family, just so you can see. Yeah. First off, these guys are dumb. Number one, because you said 60%. 60% is right here. This is not 60%. That's like me saying, hey, white people, why are you 40% of the violent crime out here when the number doesn't show that? Oops. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that real quick, family. We're going to show them how dumb they are. Because I guess I said this on Twitter. You people must not understand how stats work. And you must have missed math class. Well, I said English class because he can't read. But yeah, it's funny. They keep doing this. They do this I think they do it at the same time they want to say that Black Americans didn't create hip hop. They like to just lump that in there. Family, y'all remember I went over this when that troll came in here. We're not going to say his name. I literally did the calculations in the back. Do we have to do this again? Cool. We're going to do this again. Tabernacle. Here you go. This is the FBI database. Now we know they underrepresent and underreport white crime. We understand that. Fine. But we'll go with the numbers that they were given and the numbers they submitted. Here we go. Now we have all violent crime offender versus victim demographics. Okay. So they said they have 875,415 offenders. This is how many people they arrested. Cool. We'll do that for them. They got it from 15,726 of 18,888 participating law enforcement agencies in the country of last year. Sorry. Fine. We got all that. Here we go. In 2022, there were 809,381 all violent crime incidents and 951,270 offenses reported in the United States by 13,293 law enforcement agencies that submitted National Incident-Based Reporting System, or NIBRS, data and cover 75% of the total population. Okay, fine. So we're going to use this number, family. We're going to use this number because they're so dumb. This is on the FBI site, but they don't give a damn about that. They're just going to make numbers up because they know the white voting bloc is so dumb, they're not going to go do it themselves. So I don't know. Damn, I can't show that. Let me see. Maybe I can. Let me see. I've never done this before. I've never done this before with StreamYard. Let me see something. Let me see something. I've never tried this. Window. Yes. There we go. Can y'all see that? That is the calculator. Hey, you dumb white people. Come here. Let me show you something. That's called a calculator. CALCULATOR. We finna teach this morning. You dum-dums. Okay, that's called a calculator. We're going to do these numbers in real time, just so I can show you something. Are you ready, family? Here we go. We're going to start with the Kardashians. Now, they have 389,295 incidents. Well, arrests. I'm sorry, arrests. The incidents were the 809,381. So we're going to take that number. We're going to do 389. No. Oh, shit. Wait. Sorry. 389. What was it? I'm sorry. 389 to 85. Sorry. I've never done this before, so I'm doing it in real time. Leave me alone. 285. Right? Okay. You do divide, right? And the number was 809, 381. 809, 381. Push that. Okay. So for white crime in 2022, we have 48.09%. 48. Now that's violent crime. This is violent crime. Okay. We do that. That's almost 50%. Okay. Now we do us. Now our number is 378,448. So we're going to erase this since I have to teach. 378. What was it? 378, 448. I don't remember. 448. Yes. 448. Yes. We divide that by, remember, the incident number 809, 381. Oh, good goddamn. Well, good goddamn. We're at 46.75%. Well, good goddamn. That's not 60% of the violent crime now, is it? Hey, white people, I understand. Math is tough. I understand. That Common Core kicked y'all's asses. I get it. I get it. But we're not going to do this. Now that's recorded for posterity because y'all are so dumb. We go back to Twitter now because you said something else. Family, they decided to put up this meme. Now, mind you, I saw this side of the meme, the right side with the AAPI. I saw that the other day. I don't know if it's real or not. But then they thought they were funny. They thought they were funny. Here we go. They put 4 black men there and said that they would identify as white. That's so funny. It's just so funny. They think they're funny. Then we have this idiot here who said black people doing the rape and murder white people won't do. Boy, if you don't go, man, should I show him the 2019 stats again? Who's doing the most graping out here in the streets? Yeah, that's right, y'all. By a wide margin, it was at least double. But okay, we're not going to educate white people too much, because when you educate white people too much, then they turn on you. We good on that. We good on that. And look, he, she, it, them. They got all the white people to show up. Look at them. Look at him. Look at this. There is no distinction in the reporting between a white person and a Latin person other than saying the person is white, Hispanic, or non-Hispanic. So those numbers represent all whites and Hispanics added together. Ooh, just like Torian just said, ooh, they are mad. They are so mad. Yes, Torian, these are the same people that believe George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. Yes. They're so dumb. Is there no Hispanic column because they are officially lumped in with white people now? Yes, there is a Hispanic column. Yes, there is. There is. Y'all just don't want to look at it. Y'all just don't want to look at it. Hey, white people, why don't you all go write your congressmen and your senators and tell them to disaggregate the data with the FBI? I mean, that would be a nice change of pace. Get Trump in next year, since most of y'all identify as Republican anyway, and get them to disaggregate the data. I would love to see that. I'm telling you, that white number will go up. But all right. Torian said this is what they wanted. They wanted to do the black and brown thing on us so bad, but it backfired because they won't dare lump us with this when it comes to crime like they're doing with them. Oh, we know. Oh, we know. Yes, Hurricane IQ. It is underreported. Yes, we know. As Shamika Gray said, nation with malignant narcissism, global malignant narcissism, for real. Huh? Well, they're going to learn. November 5th, 2024, they're going to learn. So there's that. So that part where I showed how to do stats, clip that out and send it to white people. Show white people something. But we move on. We move on. Family, did y'all know that there was an insurrection type event yesterday? Did y'all know this? I'm sure you did, but you might not have. Yes. Do you know a whole bunch of pro-Palestinian folk ran up in the Capitol building? Do you know this? Yes. That's right. It was beautiful. I want to see what they gonna do, because it's funny. Most of the news coverage denied talking about it. Why? Because they're going to say they were leftists. They're trying to figure out right now how to spin it. Tabernacle. Over 300 pro-Palestinian protesters invade U.S. Capitol after Gaza hospital bombing. Now, they're saying that the bombing didn't happen, but okay. We'll go with what the news says. And people online, because of course they're more privy to shit than most of the news. Over 300 pro-Palestinian protesters filled the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday and staged a sit-in to demand Israel ceasefire, Radar Online has learned. How did 300 people get in? The demonstration in Washington, D.C. came as pro-Palestine supporters gathered in cities around the world in protest of Israel's onslaught of airstrikes on Gaza in the wake of Hamas attacks on Israel's kibbutz on October 7th. A day after the ongoing bombing destroyed a hospital in Gaza, killing at least 500 Palestinians, protesters took their outrage to the Capitol. The group dressed in black and wore T-shirts that read "Jews say ceasefire now" and "Not in our name" as they staged a sit-in in the rotunda of the Cannon House office building. Ha! All right. In addition to their T-shirts, the protesters carried signs that read various messages like "Let Gaza live," "Ceasefire," and "Mourn the dead and fight like hell for the living." Capitol Police reportedly arrested 300 protesters after their singing and chanting became disruptive. Capitol Police reportedly arrested 300 protesters after their singing and chanting became disruptive. Question: couldn't the people that did January 6th use that? I'm just saying. I don't give a damn, but I'm just saying. They could have just said they were singing and chanting. I want to know how they got in. I don't think 300 people were on the tour. How did they get in? Now, I know they were demonstrating at the White House the day before. They tried to get in the White House, and they had to put up barriers. How did they get into the Capitol? So 2 years later, y'all security is still messed up. Got it. Thank you. All right. On the mass arrest made, Capitol Police said, "We warned the protesters to stop demonstrating. When they did not comply, we began arresting them," according to the Daily Mail. That is a crazy white woman. That is one crazy white woman. Tensions ran high in the wake of the Gaza hospital bombing, largely due to conflicting reporting on whether or not Israel or Hamas is responsible. While the Israel Defense Force insisted that the bombing was the result of a terrorist misfire, critics dismissed the theory and blamed Israel for the atrocity. Democrat Representative Rashida Tlaib, who accused Israeli authorities of lying about past strikes, spoke to protesters as they made their way into the Capitol. Really? She talked to him. Didn't y'all say Trump did the same thing and y'all indicted him, so y'all gonna indict Rashida Tlaib next, right? This is what we're gonna do. Huh? Let me know. I want to see this. I would love to do coverage of the, what we gonna call this? We're gonna call it the 1018. I would love to do that. We'll call it the 018. The 018th. That's what we'll call it. The 018th. October 18th. I would love to do coverage on this. Quote, "A lot of people are not going to forget this. It's not a threat. It isn't," Tlaib told the group in an emotional address. "We just continue to watch people think it's okay to bomb a hospital with children. You know what's so hard sometimes is watching those videos and the people telling the kids don't cry." As protesters gathered in Washington, D.C., President Joe Biden traveled to Israel, where he met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. While Netanyahu assured his government that the IDF was not responsible for the hospital bombing, the tragedy altered Biden's travel plans drastically. Previously scheduled meetings with the King of Jordan and presidents of Iran and Egypt were canceled as pro-Palestinian supporters condemned Israel's offensive in Gaza. According to CNN, at least 3,000 Palestinians have been killed just 11 days since the Hamas attack on November 7th. They have video. Would y'all like to watch the video, family? I think y'all would like to watch the video. I know it's Fox News, but they got video. Let's see the video. Fair use.
Being arrested. We saw several arrests during the break while we were watching this on our other camera, on the other feed, I should say. Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram joins us now. He has just arrived on the site. So, Chad, what's going on there?
Well, there's hundreds of demonstrators right now.
You can't even hear him.
They've pretty much taken over.
Hey, Jay, the informant. This trip was actually planned. I knew about this trip over the weekend, so it's not like he just up and went. This trip was actually planned. But I think I understand what you're trying to say. He has problems at home, but he has time to go over there and kiss their ass. I get it.
Over the lower rotunda, they are singing, they are chanting. These are Jewish.
So y'all got them in there doing this, and you see over here in the right side, the cop is not even looking. So they're allowed to do this, but y'all got upset at some people that went up in there 2 years ago. How did they get in? Did y'all have cops open the door again? Did you have people being escorted into this building?
Protesters who are saying free Gaza. They're basically saying we want a ceasefire now. They've been chanting, they've been singing, they've been blowing a shofar here. There's now a demonstration outside the Cannon House office building. This is one of the biggest demonstrations I've ever seen inside any of the House office buildings. They have demonstrations here regularly. I might note that there were some disruptions this morning during the confirmation hearing of Jack Lew to be the U.S. ambassador to Israel. These were people saying that there was a genocide being committed by the Israelis in Gaza right now. There was a memorandum sent out by the House Sergeant at Arms to everyone who works on Capitol Hill, indicating that there was going to be maybe some protest activity or some potential for violence or something. So they put a small fence around the Capitol Square itself this morning. However, they did not cordon off the office buildings. This is across the street where a lot of the members, the House members, have their offices. And what I've noticed in just the past couple of moments is that the House Sergeant at Arms and the House Administration Committee has put out a memo restricting all access to the House office buildings for only the people who work here, people who are staff, people who are members, journalists like myself. And I'm looking over the side here. There's still probably about 20 or 30 police officers on the ground of the rotunda. And there's still probably maybe a good 100 or so chanting on the floor. Up here on the balcony where we are, and this is what's different, is that we started to see a lot of the protesters come up here and we're chanting up here. Again, and are starting to arrest some of the demonstrators up here. This is a massive protest, and it doesn't seem like right now, it's not been violent or anything like that, but there are certainly more of them than they have U.S. Capitol Police officers. They did put out that memo this morning.
What did you just say? Say that again.
And it doesn't seem like right now, it's not been violent or anything like that, but there are certainly more of them than they have U.S. Capitol Police officers. They did put out that memo this morning or last night.
So you knew that they were going to do this and you didn't plan for this? I say again, you knew they were coming because, again, the day before they went to the Capitol and tried it. I mean, the White House and tried it. And now you're admitting that they knew they were coming, possibly, and you didn't set up? Huh. Well,
and a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
I'm guessing this is going to happen every 2 years. I guess we should just get ready for the new normal. People are just going to run up in the Capitol every 2 years. I'm sure they'll do it again January 20th, 2025, when Trump is inaugurated. I'm sure they'll do it again. Yeah.
that they expected something like this, but this seems to have gotten a little bit further than what they usually do. Usually they move in pretty quickly. They did certainly on the Senate side this morning when there was the demonstration upending the confirmation hearing for Jack Reed to be U.S. ambassador to Israel. But this is a little bit different here, both inside and outside the Cannon House office building across the street from the Capitol. And again, this comes at a time where there's not really clarity as to who is in charge of the House of Representatives. There's no speaker. They had their second failed vote today. Members of Congress, they want to, pass a resolution to condemn Hamas and stand by Israel, pass some sort of an aid package for Israel. The people who are protesting today, they see things a little bit differently. There's just been 3 other police officers walk past me with flexi cuffs, and there's another Capitol Police officer escorting somebody else out now. So this is getting a little more serious here atop the Cannon Rotunda. Back to you.
Yeah, Chad, quick question in terms of what the rules are. And just to point out to everybody at home, it says Capitol Hill on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. This is the Cannon House office building where a lot of members of Congress, House of Representatives, have their offices. And they have arrested some people. They're allowing these other people to stay. What are the rules about where they're allowed to be and what they're not allowed to do?
Well, if you're a member of the public, you can come in and make your point known. You can drop in on members of Congress. You can attend hearings, but you can't start to cause a commotion. This is a commotion. And right now there's more of them than there are Capitol Police.
So you're allowed to go in there. You're allowed to attend hearings. Huh. You learn something new every day, family. So you're allowed to go in there, which I figured because they probably have tours and stuff, but I did not know you can attend hearings. Well. Okay.
So they're going through very methodically and arresting these demonstrators and taking them out one by one. It's going to take quite a bit of time. They usually give you 3 warnings. They say, you need to cease your activity. They tell you again, you're going to be arrested. And the 3rd time you're going to be arrested. I don't know that anybody could actually hear the warnings considering the din inside the Cannon Rotunda and the blowing of the shofar that you might hear behind me here. This is going to take quite a while. But again, it's just the sheer numbers of people that they have. I do want to emphasize that this has been peaceful. It's just been disruptive. And this is where they will cite them for... They will cite them.
All right. You know what? We're seeing these scenes all over the place. That's Chad on Capitol Hill.
And of course, they had to end it right with the black guy. They not slick. Now, I know this is New York, but they had to end it right there with the black guy. Oh, boy. I ain't even gonna tell black people not to do what they want to do. You want to support this? Cool. You want to support Israel? Cool. You want to stay out of it? Cool. Just be careful with white supremacy, please. Because it doesn't matter what side you take. They take both sides of the argument, and they will not let you do that. So be careful. Sybil, good morning. Please be careful out there. But God damn. Okay. Now it's time. Now it's time. We got to talk about him. We got to talk about him. Shoot. I'm going to try not to curse on this segment, family. We're gonna show him how intelligent we are.
Get that water. He about to get this work. He about to get this work.
Two days ago at an NAACP event in Michigan, Derek Johnson, president of the NAACP, falsely characterize American freedmen as immigrants to promote the nation of immigrants narrative. This rhetoric is commonly associated with political agendas that prioritize Black Americans. The misrepresentation by Derek Johnson is a travesty. He's well aware that the formerly enslaved and their descendants in this country never sought permanent residency on foreign shores. Instead, they have fought and migrated within the borders of the nation they helped build, seeking greater opportunities and true access to the American dream denied to their forefathers. Listen in and share your thoughts. Are Black Americans who migrated during the Great Migration rightfully labeled immigrants? Is it fair to categorize our ancestors and ourselves as second or third generation immigrants from Europe or South America? Now, we went over the definition of immigrant. But we'll do it again, since people don't understand what the word immigrant means. Okay. We'll do it again. Immigrant, a noun. A person who leaves one country to settle permanently in another. One who or that which immigrates as a person, animal, or plant, specifically a person who migrates into a country for the purpose of permanent residence. Correlative to immigrant as strictly used. Now, that's American heritage. You know, they're not going to respect that. So we'll use Merriam-Webster. One that immigrates, such as a person who comes to a country to take a permanent residence, a plant or animal that becomes established in an area where it was previously unknown. Okay. Okay. Got that, because they're slow. Let's hear what Mr. Johnson had to say about y'all.
Some of you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, let me put it this way. No one chooses where they are born, to whom, what family, what region of the globe, or what community, and they should have the right to survive. They should have the right to survive.
Couldn't they just couldn't have an event without some food around. You hear the clicking of the silverware on the plates. They just couldn't have an event where ain't no food was served. I mean, it would just suck. That's not an NAACP event without an MENU.
I grew up in Detroit, as it was said earlier, and I loved my community. It was a beautiful community. It was a community of immigrants. Folks immigrated from Alabama. They immigrated from Mississippi.
What?
They immigrated from Arkansas. They immigrated from Georgia. A community of immigrants. Fleeing hostile territories where they were being oppressed and denied opportunities to work for.
Negro, that's called migration, not immigration, you dum-dum. That's called migration. Oh my God! So we're gonna have to look up what migration means. Okay, we'll do it for him, since I need to know the standards of joining the NAACP. I need to know. Okay. The act, process, or instance of migrating. Not that much of a definition. All right, we won't use migration. We'll use migrate. Here we go. Intransitive, to move from one country, place, or locality to another. This is how they're going to get us, family. This is why they say the migrants should have rights, because they moved from, that's why they're calling them migrants, not immigrants. They're calling them migrants. See, prefixes have power, but they're trying to get rid of that power. But when you migrate, you're going from one place or locality to another. So the South went to the North because there were more jobs, there were better opportunities. That's why now they're saying it's the Great Migration. Everybody's going to the South. They don't say the Great Immigration. But okay. We'll let them talk. We'll let them talk.
A fair wage for their labor, fleeing persecution because of the color of their skin. Or y'all talking about Latino people? We're talking about black folks. Now look around this room, all of us are immigrants. You think about it. Look at your family history. Most of you are second, third, and some are fourth and fifth generation who migrated either during the Great Migration 1 or Great Migration 2.
Bro. Those two words are not the same. Oh my God. They're not the same. I'm going to let him finish.
Immigrants. Others who immigrated from other countries because of persecutions and failed governments and issues that caused them to have to leave from the place of their ancestral birth to come here because it was said there were opportunities and or safety. Immigrants. Others of you who come from some European country because of persecution, whether it's based on religion or lack of opportunity, and you came here because your ancestors or your immediate parents seeking opportunity. Immigrants. Opportunities that was guaranteed under this thing we call a constitution that we know as a social contract. But that contract is only as good as the individuals who are in office to ensure it is provided to all citizens equally.
They're not even listening to this man. Because they know he's dumb, but okay. Here you are. Migrant versus immigrant and refugee versus asylee. Which one are you? We don't care about that. The Department of Health simply defines a migrant as someone leaving their home country to live in another country. That's not a migrant. But okay, they say that the definition of migrate is leaving country. Fine, whatever. Essentially, you shouldn't think of it as migrant versus immigrant, but more like immigrant falls under the term migrant. They're both, the two words are not the same. DOJ's definition places migrant as an umbrella term for all forms of people moving across borders to change residency, no matter the reason and length of time. Other dictionaries, websites, and nonprofit organizations typically refer to migrants as those anyone moving from place to place, even within the same country. Correct. Correct. That's what it should be reserved for, people moving within their own borders. But we just typically say we're moving, but okay. This would lead to a stronger distinction between migrant versus immigrant. Yet, if you're coming to the U.S., the only definition you should be interested in is from DOJ as it decides whether you get in or not. So they're going to leave it up to the government, not the people, the government. Got it. Okay. But again, we just went over these definitions. How come that? Let's see what this one is. The terms immigrant and migrant have distinct meanings. While both involve people leaving their home country and moving to another country, there are differences in their intentions and legal status. Migrants willingly move to another country. Okay. Often for employment or education, and may return to their home country. Right. Okay. Immigrants also move voluntarily, but with the intention of settling permanently in the new country and obtaining legal status. Immigrants go through a process to obtain visas or green cards, while migrants can include both internal and international movers. Understanding these distinctions helps recognize their humanity and the unique challenges they face. Right. Okay. Sure. None of these migrants are coming here for economic reasons. We know this. Well, technically, they're not looking for work. They heard that U.S. got all the free shit, so they're coming. Oh, we know. Oh, I know. But Denise Scales, you asked who this was. This is the current president of the NAACP, Mr. Derek Johnson. He said this. And he said it with his chest. He said more. I did not even see this. He said more. We're going to listen to this together. I didn't realize he said more. And there's a part 3. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Let's see what he says here.
Now, I went through that process because sometimes we get distracted with otherizing community, otherizing people. I don't like you because you're too short. You need to eat more because you're too skinny. You can't fit that through that door, you're too big. Your skin tone is too light or too dark, or the way you pray is not the way I pray, therefore something must be wrong with you, not me. Otherwise, the distractions of things that have been placed in front of us intentionally because you have a community or set of individuals who are creating distractions so that we fight each other and not focus on that commitment that we are guided by a call of the Constitution. The NAACP was started in 1909 in the backdrop of racial terrorism that was taking place in the Black community, and individuals, William Trotter, Monroe Trotter, W.B. Du Bois, and Ida B. Wells, they met in 1907 and 1908 to try to address the question. Then there was a race riot, and another group of people of color, they were not considered white. After the riot in Springfield, asked for the group of blacks to meet with them in New York. Those individuals who were not considered white, but who will be considered white today, as I look around this room, and the individuals I see that will be considered white today, in 1909 were not considered white. That race within itself is a social construct created to maintain domination and control and power. Those individuals prayed differently. They were of different faiths. Those individuals came from countries that were fleeing persecution. Those individuals did not fit the definition in 1909 of whiteness. That whiteness in 1909 was white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Oh, Lord.
Keep
babbling.
Migrating here from Ireland. You was of the Catholic faith. You were not considered white in 1909. Your family migrated here from Poland. You was not an Anglo-Saxon, so you were not considered white in 1909. Your family migrated here from Ireland, whether Northern Ireland or Sicily, you were not considered white in 1909 in this country. It's a social construct. It is made up to create division. And the only thing that changed over time from 1909, they ran out of voters. So they began to expand the definition of whiteness to include more people so they can have more votes at the ballot box. Voting is currency.
I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said. He was babbling. I don't know what he said. He just went into white people. All right. Let's see the last part.
And I can recall learning this, ironically, in Western High School. Western High School was one of those schools of community, in a community of diversity in Detroit, when Detroit was fastly encroaching upon being an 80% Black city. One of the last holdover diverse communities. In that school, you had individuals from Puerto Rico, you had people from Cuba, or Castro Cubans, and you had people from Mexico, you had individuals from the Middle East, both Sunni, Shiite, and Chaldeans. You had individuals of Polish background, of Irish background, from Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, all of us being immigrants. And I can recall doing a short period of time when I first got there, there was a teacher, Mr. Rowinski. Mr. Rowinski was a unique fellow because he was a child of immigrants who had come from home. And he created a club called the Ethnic Club. And it became the most popular club at Western. Now, for those of you who know anything about Western, it was the smallest high school in Detroit. And I travel across the country, and every time someone asks me, if you're from Detroit, you go to Cass, I say, no, they didn't give me the test to go to Cass. It was one of the safer schools in Detroit because it was so small and everyone knew each other. But Mr. Rowinski, he had the insight to drive home the opportunity of people coming together from their diverse backgrounds, as opposed to allowing the school to break apart because of diverse background. In the Esther Club, he was also a social studies teacher, and he would talk about race as a social construct. And he will force us to begin to think outside of the box, to appreciate that each individual brought to the table a uniqueness. And he would say oftentimes is your uniqueness is your genius.
What are you talking about?
And that if you bring a piece of your uniqueness and you put it with my uniqueness and we put it with her uniqueness, our uniqueness is a genius that will allow us to be stronger together and to thrive together. What a lesson to learn in the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade.
He's babbling. I don't know what he's talking about, but okay. And y'all wonder why nobody talks about the NAACP except them folk. Well, there's that family. I mean, I'm ready to go. Wait a minute. Did y'all know there was going to be a 4th entry here? Did y'all know this? I know when I said I had to go, y'all were like, there's actually a 4th entry. I didn't want to put him on the thumbnail. I wanted to wait. I wanted to surprise y'all. I'm into surprises nowadays. Maybe it's because my birthday's coming up. I'm into surprises. I've got one more video I want y'all to listen to. Shout out to Jason for this one. I didn't get it from him, but I listened to his program the other night, and yeah, somebody ran their mouth.
Get that water. He about to get this work. He about to get this work.
Oh, yes. The resident butterball himself. Roland. He responded to what happened in Louisiana. Now, I don't understand why he just doesn't give up on Louisiana. Louisiana is a lost cause right now for the black politician. Gary Chambers got his ass kicked. They can't get somebody to run New Orleans that's black. I don't know what's going on down there, but for some reason, he thinks that how goes Louisiana goes the country. I guess Roland and Gary really think this. Yes, that is Gary Chambers. Yes, it is. Jay the Informant. Yes. Yes, it says Roland Martin calls out the so-called super black folks, and Gary Chambers has the perfect response. Let's see what they said. Fair use.
I'm gonna do no again. Normally, I ignore the Simple Simons, Gary. But this is a Louisiana race, and so I'm just curious. Have you seen or heard that loudmouth ass Jason Black, who's in Louisiana?
Rolling. You, sir, he said something Saturday. Oh wait, no, I tell a was it? Yeah, it was Saturday, Sunday. He said something Sunday, sir. Sunday in a Twitter space. Now I don't know if you blocked him or not, but okay, you roam, so you must have seen it, sir. Why the fuck did you wait a few days to say something? You should have went immediately live on him. He called him out, Denise. I play it for you again. He called him out.
Gary. But this is a Louisiana race, and so I'm just curious. Have you seen or heard that loudmouth ass Jason Black, who's in Louisiana, who's always go to my YouTube page, because like last year, this little idiot did this thing called Pull Up Summer 2022, which was pretty stupid because he claims that I was running from him at Essence Fest, and he's so irrelevant, the fool don't even know I was there the whole time, and he couldn't even get credentials, but I was all.
Nah, I don't know Jason's business, but I don't ever remember him tweeting or putting something up on Facebook saying that he was trying to get into Essence Fest. He heard you. He heard you were there. He wanted to talk to you. I'm sure he would have been content waiting right outside the Essence Fest VIP entrance till you came outside. I don't think he needed to go inside. Hell, he could have easily bought a ticket and just walked through as a regular person. You wouldn't even have known he was there until he pulled up on you. Boy, this lets you know that between what Richard Spencer did, breaking this man as a black man, he's more upset at Jason for consistently calling him out. Remember, the preeminent white supremacists of this generation, Richard Spencer, did what he did to Roland and moseyed the fuck on. This fool, after he got owned by a white man, turned the corner and saw Jason there, and Jason won't let him go down the street. Hey, he's this upset. All right.
All over the place, but it's interesting. I see him I don't see nothing on here about Louisiana gubernatorial race
because he did it on Twitter Spaces.
Nothing. So I get a kick out of these people who love talking black, who love talking about what black folks should do, who love talking about what other black people should be saying and not saying. And he's sitting there in Louisiana, ain't saying nothing about the black guy running for governor, but I'm sure he probably gonna try to call him a sellout like he tried to call you one and everybody else. But I purposely just believe in calling these folks out because what they do is talk trash on YouTube, but do nothing to actually help black people. And
the irony is great with this one. I'm going to play it again. The irony is great with this one.
Everybody else. But I purposely just believe in calling these folks out because what they do is talk trash on YouTube, but do nothing to actually help black people.
Motherfucker, what have you done to help black people? Oh, I know what you do. You go to HBCUs and take pictures with co-eds. What do you do to help black people? Oh, you take pictures with Stephen A. Smith at black events. What do you help? How do you help black people? Are you out there? Hey, fat boy, let me talk to you. You know how you could help black folks? Stop being such a pussy and blocking everybody when they don't agree with what you say. That would be a hell of a start. I'll give you a black journalist that don't block everybody when they have something different to say. Brianna Joy Gray. She be getting it every day. She stands on what she says. She don't be blocking nobody, much to my knowledge. Every time somebody says something about you or call you out, you block them. You're limiting your voice, sir. Number two, you hate us so much. Why don't you come talk to us? You don't got to talk to Jason. We'll take Jason out of the equation. We'll take Professor Black Truth out of the equation. We'll take Tariq out of the equation. We'll take Vicky out of the equation. Why don't you come talk to us? Show me this 20-year plus amassing of Black journalism and integrity and know-how. Come educate me. Because you keep platforming Gary Chambers and he ain't win a damn thing. You're platforming someone who did a performative ad campaign to become a representative in Congress for the state of Louisiana. That included deleting the KKK. And he really thought he was going to get the white vote in Louisiana to sign on to that. Even if it was for New Orleans or wherever he was trying to represent. And you have this man on there. You don't see the irony of why people don't respect you when it comes to this. And then you want to start calling out Jason and us. Okay.
And if you Black and listen to that fool, you stuck on stupid too.
You know, sure about that? You sure about that? Sir, you were on a Black channel and you couldn't even get people to watch you consistently. They had to get rid of you. Look how long it took you to get to 1 million views, even though you paid for a lot of them. Look how long. Sir, your live streams get about 25,000 views. I ain't hating. I wish I could get one. But then you repurpose the clips and replay the shit to game the system. Jason does one program on a Saturday. By Monday, it has about 50,000. Somebody's obviously listening to him.
We have a real problem with figuring out how do we collectively advance our people. And a portion of that problem is that some of us speak so much against Black progress that we don't contribute anything other than that to Black progress, which is not a contribution of any value, to be honest. We have a real opportunity.
Oh my God, the hypocrisy. Sir, first off, you look like Shotgun Suge, the battle rapper, number one. Number two, sir, you literally did an ad attacking white folks and then asking white folks to have you give them their votes. I'm saying this wrong. Let me back up. Number one, you look like Shotgun Suge, the battle rapper. That's number one. Number two, sir, you literally did ads deleting white folk, and you thought white folk in Louisiana were going to vote for you. Like, how do y'all not understand this? You're talking about Black progress. Dude, literally, you set us back on that. Because if Black folks voted you in, they would have looked at them Black folks in Louisiana and be like, this is how you really think about us. Which I'm sure they've already told them that, but now you have somebody representing it. Sir, we're never a good candidate. You were never going to win. Never. Give it up. It's okay. You found your niche now. You're going to be one of Roland's Fab Five. Along with Reese and Imhotep and the other dude. It's okay. Just milk this. Just make sure Roland's paying you. Because outside of these appearances every now and again, nobody cares about what Gary Chambers got going on.
Struggle with all of the people who kick back, and this is for the foundational Black Americans who say that we should not push some of these candidates. You got to get somebody in there to move your agenda. Yep. And if you can't convince people that your agenda is important, you got to build a bridge big enough, a boat big enough that you can cross the river of struggle. because black folk tired of struggling. They tired of sitting in conditions and communities that are not working. And the way that we advance that is by putting people who share the majority of our views in office so that we can get things done. And then if those people are not doing what we want, we don't put them there again. But I didn't see many people that were running for the U.S. Senate last year that had a majority black staff, that paid majority of black people with the resources that they raised, $1.3 million, that kept reparations as a part of their platform. And I still was not getting the support of those people. So it's almost like,
because you were a joke, sir. We didn't believe you. You didn't have a history of talking about this. You saw reparations as a quick grift. That's why we didn't take you serious. Jason literally did a whole broadcast on you and showed why we shouldn't take you serious. But you want to talk about U.S. senators? Mandela Barnes was not serious. He figured he was going to griff off the fact that black folks were angry after 2020 and thought he was going to beat Ron Johnson. And it didn't happen. He got destroyed. Stacey thought the same thing down here in Georgia. She thought she was going to get over on Kemp. And if she would have gotten in, the Southeast would have been destroyed. It didn't happen. She got destroyed. You know what we want. If the politician ain't talking it, we're not voting for it. And if you show up talking about it, but we look in your history and we don't see the work, we don't see the initial advocacy, we are not voting for you. And Roland's too much of a snake and a douchebag to go tell his crowd that, because he knows what's going to happen. People are going to start crawling into his history and see how anti-black he is. And he's going to lose subscribers and a nice little check that he got. And people are going to be like, you know what? Damn, Jason Black must have been right with what he was saying all about Roland. Roland, you cater to the young folk. I'm lying. Roland, you cater to over 50s and the late 40 crowd. That's who your demographic is. Those are like, we got to vote to change. And y'all are watching. Voting ain't changing much now, is it? You got to come with a different strategy. You don't like us because our voices outside are getting more traction than you waiting for voting day to go pull a lever, or now they have a computer. Click a few buttons and think you've done something impressive. No, you got to do it every day, all day. Politics is every day now. And we're turning to old folks, and you don't like that. Gary, you're a terrible candidate. I'm sure Dog Catcher is open somewhere in some parish down there. Go look for that.
When you're black and you're running, are you ever good enough for black people sometimes? Because you say, I'm not going to vote for them just because they're black. When they're black and they got a college degree and a PhD, you got a problem with that. When they're black and they're activists and they're advocates, you got a problem with that. The question is the white...
Wrong. We don't have a problem with you being a black activist. We have a problem when we look at your black activism and it ain't for black folks, especially black Americans. That's where the problem lies. You have to earn B1. You got to earn that. It's not a fancy hashtag. That's a way of life. When you black first, that don't mean you dip your toe everywhere and then you come run back home and think that black people are going to wipe your toes off. That ain't what it means. It means everything you do in life, everything has to be for the betterment of you and your people. Y'all keep making deals with white supremacy thinking that that's the answer, because Roland consistently tells us white folk ain't gonna give you reparations. You need to go to Congress to get reparations. Great. We already know who ain't gonna give it to them. Good. 2024, we're going to make sure, especially me, we're going to document everybody that's running, and we're going to find out if they don't like reparations. If they don't, they're gone. We'll clean the cupboard for you. We scared y'all last year, and we'll do it again.
Man's ice cold.
And again, since I've just gone ahead in there, same thing. Loudmouth Vicky Dillard. All they do is run their mouth. And again, you got black folks who run. This is for the governor of Louisiana, second blackest state. On here, I see her talking about Kamala Harris, dogging Joe Biden, saying Clyburn sold us out, saying DNC chairman flees if the black Americans confront him, all this sort of stuff. I don't see nothing on here about the brother who's running for governor. And so all I'm saying to all of these so-called super black people, where you at? Because see, you can't keep saying you want this. To your point, Gary, well, who's going to do it? So let's be real clear. We know what Jeff Landry not going to do. We know exactly what he is going to do that's going to be oppressive to black folks there in Louisiana. And so, yeah, I'm purposely name calling all these folks who run their mouths. They love doing videos about me, but it's amazing when it's time to put the metal to the pedal, it's time to really get going, time to actually get folks elected who can speak to our interests. Ooh, they MIA. They in the witness protection.
Because these folks who are running don't have websites. They don't have social media feeds. We don't go up and down. You're right, Roland. We don't go up and down and look at this shit. You're right. We don't do that. We don't do that. You're right. He's right. He's right. He's right. Bunker TV, good morning. You say you got your B1 status when you dropped 2 racist white boys in the army and didn't get court-martialed. There you go. Sir, you're right, Roland. We don't, these candidates that come up, we don't look at their platforms. You're right. We don't look at that. You're exactly right. We just see a black name and we're like, okay, let's look up reparations. Oh, he don't like reparations. He don't like black folks. All right, we're not going to vote for him. You think that's what it is. They never get it. They don't get it. Sir, specifically to me, family who's been here. Did I not spend over a year on Stacey Abrams' neck? Even when I didn't even have monetization, when barely people would show up in the live stream, I was on Stacey Abrams' necks. All of them. I literally did an entire live stream talking about who Soros's politicians he has on payroll. I literally did that. And a lot of them didn't get in. At least half of that list did not get in. The other day, I went over Cornel West's platform. Literally had it on the screen. I love how you skipped the fact that you could say Jason Black ain't talk about the Louisiana gubernatorial race, which he did years ago, but you and him were still yelling at each other, so you missed that. He consistently talks about what goes on in Louisiana. I think he brings it up at least once a month. But the fact is, he showed Gary Chambers and you didn't like that. Just say what it is. He exposed Gary Chambers as a bad candidate and you didn't like it. So you already lied to your people and said that he doesn't talk about what goes on in Louisiana when he literally did. But you're going to say that he did it because it's a black person. We look at everything, sir. We look at everything. If the agenda is not advantageous to black folks, we're not going for it.
Program.
It don't work for us, man.
So that's why I tell folk, if y'all waste your time listening to following any of them, tell me what are they actually doing to advance the cause of black folks. Because guess what? If you're not in power, you can't do anything. Sitting on the curb, chirping and yelling on YouTube.
Okay. I think we've had enough. Okay, last thing, Roland. You're right. Of course, you're right. You're right. People in power don't have nothing. They can't affect nothing. That's what you said, right? Let me play it again. I don't want to misquote you. Let's play it again.
If y'all waste your time listening to following any of them, Tell me what are they actually doing to advance the cause of Black folks? Because guess what? If you're not in power, you can't do anything.
Really? When you're not in power, you can't do anything. Yeah, the powerless vote our leaders in, Roland. Or did you forget that? We have the powerful and the powerless coming together to vote people who are supposed to advance our interests. Every 2 years. We do this every 2 years. Sounds like the powerless got a lot of power. Hey, the powerless, like you like to call us, how come we are influencing the next generations and the older generations? Yeah, we talk all day on YouTube. Guess what? We change lexicons. We talk all day on social media and we host Twitter rooms and get people who love to show their colors and we smack them down. When are you going to show your when are you going to host the space, Roland? Come over here. Why don't you host a space called Roland versus the New Black Media and let us come in there and talk to you? And nobody can come in there and insult you. We're just going to ask some questions. Come on. I would love to start a fund. We'll entice Roland. Roland, we'll give you $200 and a tray of biscuits. You go talk to Jason Black. 30 minutes. Let's have that debate. I bet if enough of us powerless YouTubers say it, I think it'll come to fruition. We may get that before Christmas. Might be beautiful. But yeah, we're so powerless. We've knocked off politicians. We've knocked off racist cartoonists. We've with no power, we've rendered newspapers obsolete. We've made people look at their favorite TV station differently. We've influenced how news is covered. But all right. No, Black first. He does not know what difference between power and force is. Hey, Roland, here's the biggest example, and you covered this. The powerless ran up in a government building and shut down the government. They actually shut down the government from working for 6 hours. Come on, Roland. Come over here, sir. We're going to do it like this, family. We'll do it like this. I know he blocked me, so you probably won't see it. But Roland, I dare you. I'm telling him he can come over here and enlighten me with his views on politics. I would love to have a conversation with him. I want to see how smart he is. Sir, you have no power. Nobody listens to you. You're trying to impress us with 1 million subscribers. Nobody listens to you, sir. Nobody's out there saying, Roland Martin, did you hear what he said today? The way X is set up, I would have seen that by now. They just drop shit on your timeline that you didn't even ask for. Nobody's saying, hey, Roland Martin was right. But, in his head, he thinks he's right. It's okay. We got it. We got it. I know y'all can't wait till Saturday. Yeah. He's going to try his damnedest, Black First. He's going to try his damnedest. He figures that CNN, MSNBC, I'm credentialed up to hell, Boule. He thinks that that's going to move us. It's not. But, you know, it is what it is. I got to go to the plantation. I'd like to thank y'all for coming in here. This was fun. I hope you learned something. If you did, that's great. If not, I will commit myself and be better next time. Take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your day.